What's up, guys? It is Hunter, and I'm back with another video, and we're finally on 2021. And this is basically gonna be my first thoughts, a rant video a little bit, because after playing the game for 3 days, I definitely have some words. So I'm just gonna get right into it because I do think this might be somewhat of a longer video. I've got a couple images I want to throw up. I want a couple examples and stuff like that. So stick around. If you've played the game, let me know in the comments if you guys agree with what I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think so far. How is the game? All of that stuff. And if you don't have the game, yeah, also stick around because some of these things might not necessarily sound too appealing to you, or maybe there will be some things that you want to avoid once you do get the game, because I know that the game does drop, I think, tomorrow. I think it's the 15th right now. I'm not too sure. My dates are messed up, but I do think the game drops tomorrow, or as of recording this video. So I want to make sure I do get this out. So stick around, and we're going to get right into it. But firstly, I want to start with the cars in general. The cars are too fast. Let's be honest. The cars are way too fast. So on the screen, I should have it up. There should be an image. One side is F1 2020 Austria, and the other side is F1 2021 Austria. Obviously, it's hard to get a good baseline this deep into the game. You can see certain people were doing TTs literally right up until the game, right until F1 2021 came out. This guy was doing stuff on like 6:17. So yeah, that's literally like June. So it's not the best baseline, but you guys can still see, like, let's look at Passassin, who is second on the F1 2020 and first on F1 2021. A 102.177 and a 102.355. So that's a 2/10 difference. And I think we can all agree that that's just not enough. That's not even close to what the actual difference between the speed of the 2020 cars into 2021 was. It's more like a second to a second and a half, possibly even more, really depending on the track, how many turns there are. Obviously, with a track like Austria, it's okay to be a little bit closer. There's less turns. Still, I think it's way too close. Even race pace right now on Austria is still about like high 104s, which is still very reminiscent of last year, and that's faster than the overall lap record that Max Verstappen has set. So I just think, yeah, let's dial these down. I know Tom97 had a tweet where he was saying he wasn't going to release setups until, this stuff gets figured out, because he does think that they're going to nerf the speed. I hope that they do, because, yeah, let's get this as close to reality as we can. Y'all are, trying to take the realistic route. So, like, let's really, let's not half-ass it. So, yeah, I hope they nerf the cars. They definitely are a little bit too fast for the current moment. But moving on to the user interface. So just the overall design and the way that you kind of go through the menus. Obviously, I think like the home screen, like the screen that come into the game on is very nice. It's got the breaking point, calendar, split screen theater, most of the same stuff that you had last year. You can still find it on that home page, and as you're scrolling through, same deal. But once you get into multiplayer lobbies, like setting up a lobby, say you're the host, it actually gets pretty irritating. I host a lot of lobbies. If you guys know me, I host lobbies nearly every night when we're active on these games. So when I'm hosting lobbies and it's taking me like 3 to 4 minutes, and that's very that's a guesstimate. When it's taking me 3 to 4 minutes just to set up the lobby, get the F1 cars in, make it strict, probably turn rain off because we're all terrible with the rain, and do all these settings that I'm accustomed to do. And also at the beginning of the game we do presets. Most of the time we don't like let the setups become a factor. We just like to race. So, but it takes too long. You swiping through all these different menus is not efficient. Whereas like last year, everything was just right in front of you. You now have to go and press R2 to look at the weather, and then you have to press R2 again to find the weekend structure, and it's just not efficient. It's not a good way of doing things. I know that they probably won't change the UI. The UI is something that most likely will not get changed. But I just think put everything back into one menu instead of having several menus. Like the goal for a user interface should always be efficiency and ease of use, and it is not at that point right now at all. We're not at that point. So please make the user interface a little bit easier to use, especially when you're hosting lobbies, because it takes way too long for me to just do simple things. And on top of this, boys, you guys can see it still probably, if depending on what picture I have, but this white background has to go. Give us a dark mode, please. Let us change this to dark gray or a black, something, or dark blue. I don't care, because if you play this game for more than 2 hours and say it's nighttime, say you've got most of the lights off in your room, and you have this up, oh my god, it's lighting up your face. It's gonna kill your eyes. It's like come on, guys. We all know that dark mode is the way to go in 2020. We don't need this eye strain. Like, we don't need this extra eye strain as gamers. We're looking at screens 24/7 anyway. I don't need to be looking at a bright ass white screen when I'm playing. I don't need it. I don't need it. I mean, you can say, oh, you're not even looking at it, or you could turn your brightness down. Like, no, you really can't, because if you turn your brightness down, your brightness is also changed for in the race. Race brightness is perfect. The way that the racing actually looks is like the brightness of it is fine, but the lobby is just way too bright. So if you turn down your brightness just to accommodate for the lobby, you're gonna end up either having to change this when you go into races every time, or you're just gonna be racing on a dark screen. Like, it's so please please fix that white screen. I would say that is probably one of the most universal annoying things on the game, is the fact that they tried to make this look super clean, which they did make it look clean, but it's like, you've got to give us an option, because having this white screen is not a good look. It's not good for my eyes. Moving on, the social races. When you go into social play, obviously it gives you a beginner friendly lobby, it gives you experienced drivers lobbies, and then a browse and a create custom. Now, these experienced and beginner friendly driver, like, those lobbies are not helpful. They're not helpful. So I don't know, with experienced drivers, we don't care about the length of the race. We care about the other drivers that are on track with us. So experienced drivers, all those lobbies is just longer sessions with a one-shot qualifying. They're 25% races, and they're strict corner cutting. That's how we race 99% of the time anyway, in terms of like strict corner cutting. We don't care. It doesn't make a difference in terms of how people race you online. So these experienced drivers and beginner friendly lobbies are so pointless. I don't think they're going to end up being touched within the next week or two. Like, sure, they'll probably have some volume in there now, but similarly to how ranked, if you tried to go into ranked last year and you were on a 25% or trying to get a 25%, you were having zero luck. You weren't going to find the lobby. I think it's going to end up being the same with these experienced drivers and beginner friendly lobbies. Nobody's going to use them, because they're not even based on what they actually should be. A beginner friendly lobby should be a lobby where it's beginner drivers. It's based on the drivers. It's not based on the weekend structure. So they really need to change that, I think. If they're going to have these beginner friendly and experienced driver lobbies, it needs to be based on the drivers and how they are driving, not based on, what weekend structure is it, because that has nothing to do, like, I'm an experienced driver, I only want to drive in 25%. That's not the case. Most of the time I do want to do quick races, 5%ers, if I'm just playing with friends, playing with whoever. So yeah, that needs to go. That wasn't, I don't know necessarily what they were thinking with that one, but it doesn't work. I'll give them some credit. A lot of the glitches from last year that we noticed, that we went through last year, at least so far, seem to have been fixed. The main one being the leaderboard glitch inside of time trial, or just in general, the communicating with servers, like freezing on that screen where it's just endlessly spinning. Both of those I have not run into yet. I haven't run into, you can switch tracks, you can switch cars, all that stuff, switch time of day, and you will not have to, restart your app like you did last year. So you can do all that stuff, which is really nice. However, lobbies will still crash. Like, multiplayer lobbies will still crash. You could go back in my stream. Actually, I might put it up an example, but yeah, we've been frozen on or in lobbies at least 2 to 3 times so far in the last 3 days. So at least maybe like once a day this happens, or once a night, or once a session. It happens. So be aware of that. If you're playing with a lot of people that are obviously from different parts of the world, you definitely might have issues, because we are having issues with people just endlessly spinning, when all the names come up on the right side, and it's just endlessly spinning until they either shut off their PS4 or everybody in the lobby just gives up and leaves. So I think that needs to be fixed. I think if you're gonna still have that with the spinning icons, if they're spinning for more than 30 seconds or so, or whatever timeline you want to put on it, you gotta the game should kick them, because a lot of lobbies have just been ruined. Like, a lot of my friends have left, they've gotten off, it's been late in the night already, so we're about to get off anyway, and then that happens, and it just really kills all vibes, all ambition to want to continue playing that game. So please fix that. I know you guys did a pretty decent job of getting most of the glitches fixed coming into this year, which I genuinely appreciate. But yes, there's still this problem. Whether that's a server issue or that's an internal issue, I guess will remain to be seen. But moving on, we're starting to get to the latter end of this. So speaking of glitches, I did say that a lot of them were fixed, and I guess I can't really call this a glitch, because it's more of it's an implementation of the game that has just been implemented poorly. So when let's say you're on Japan and you have that turn 1, it's curving. Let's say you're in 8th place and the guy that's in 3rd place spins, but he's able to keep it on track, or maybe he's not even able to keep it on track, but it's, at least for me, I have noticed it's specifically when somebody crashes but keeps it on track, or spins out, keeps it on track, and you pass them, you are getting an illegal overtake. And this happened last year, where illegal overtakes were just thrown out, given out for no reason. If the person crashed and then they left and then their bot was there, it would also do. There was just a lot of different triggers for this odd glitch where it was A, you just overtook somebody in a yellow flag, penalty. I don't think, I want to say they went into that with the thinking of, this is realistic, this is how it is, you're supposed to slow down, but you're giving us illegal overtakes on the car that spun, which is, we're not overtaking another car, we're overtaking a car that just spun, and literally we're not we would have to stop on track in order to let them continue. So that's just not realistic. Obviously, that's not helpful. And when it gets into league racing time, I already can see that becoming an issue and being really annoying for stewards, always having to remove penalties because that stuff is happening and people are getting penalties for illegal overtakes when there wasn't even an illegal overtake. So I hope that does get fixed. That's a pretty small issue. I think it's kind of just the penalty system in general. And as I go more into the penalty system with track limits, which is basically the last thing I'm going to talk about, track limits are very inconsistent. I've already seen so many clips of just wild off tracks in TT, which is supposed to be the most strict place for track limits. I've seen some wild off. Hungary, for an example, Hungary is not being allowed anymore as one of the TT events that PSGL is putting on. So there's some sort of glitch going on that's allowing people to cut corners or do whatever and get insane times without actually putting in the laps. So they just went ahead and canceled that track as the event. So if you are in PSGL or trying to get in PSGL, make sure you're not doing Hungary TTs anymore. But anyway, that is it's very inconsistent. If you were to be on Austria, let's say, and I think some of it might be, okay, maybe we're not gaining time, but and that's how it was last year. Like, you could go off, but you would definitely have to lift in order to not, you'd have to considerably lift, and you would have to lose time. And this year, it's like you can go off, not lose any time. You can actually gain time and still not be invalidated. I have an example from me on Austria turn 9 when I was putting in my lap times. I did a 103.1, and it was because I went completely off track at turn 9. I went super wide, went onto that little red part, came back on track before turn 10, and cut turn 10 as well. I was on the inside curb, and just no invalidation. It let me finish the lap, still gave me a purple lap, still counted on the leaderboards, and yeah, luckily I was able to do another lap, get that canceled out. But yeah, there's a lot of things I think that still need to be fixed. Other than that, I don't want to be like super negative. I'm going to try to come out with another video on, things that they've done well, things that I enjoy in the video game, because it is really good fun. It's solid fun when everything's going right and there's not, terrible drivers, dirty drivers on the road, and you're just able to, race your friends, and it's a good game. It feels very good. It feels more challenging. It feels different. It's no ACC, but it feels good. It feels better. So yeah, thank you, Codemasters. You guys definitely did well. I'm not trying to hate on y'all, but just a few things that I think could definitely use fixing. And I'm sure you guys, I'm sure I'm not the first one to be saying most of these things. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. League racing videos coming soon. Make sure you guys subscribe. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. We should have, let's see, so we're doing Full Send for sure. That's one of the leagues that we're doing. So that's TNE, basically from last year. They went through a name change. And then we're going to attempt to do PSGL. And we're going to continue doing Sim Racing 604s. We're going to continue doing at least one ACC league. I definitely want to continue to do that. I think I will possibly miss my league race that I have tonight, which is at Imola, but I will for sure be there next week, which I believe is Laguna Seca. But I just haven't got any practice for Imola because obviously F1 2021 has come out. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. I really took some time on this. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.